on 19 Keys, and this is high-level conversation. The library.
We didn't go over the food. Most people don't trust the FDA, right?
No. I've sued all these agencies. The reason I feel I can reform the government is because I've litigated against everyone. I've sued CDC probably more than any other attorney, NIH, FDA, EPA probably more than any other attorney. I've sued the Department of Agriculture repeatedly, and big food, big agriculture, factory farms. I'm engaged right now in litigation involving the U.S. Department of Transportation because I'm representing 1,000 families whose lives were upended by the Norfolk Southern rail spill, which is a direct result of agency capture. I've sued FCC on cell phone radiation and won in front of the Court of Appeals, where the Court of Appeals ordered them to go back. They lied to the American public about the dangers of cell phones. So what I'm going to do when I get in there is I'm going to go to NIH my first week after I pardon Julian Assange and Edward Snowden and Ross Ulbricht and Steve Donziger and other heroes of the First Amendment and insurgents against corporate, this corrupt merger of state and corporate power. I'm going to go to NIH and I'm going to say that NIH has a budget of $42 billion a year. It gives that money to 56,000 scientists to do studies. Right now, what they're doing is they're developing drugs to treat chronic disease. So they're going to sell you your drugs for diabetes. When I was a kid, the average pediatrician would see one case of diabetes in his lifetime, in 50-year career. Today, 1 out of every 3 kids who walks through his office door is pre-diabetic or diabetic. And the drug companies, the NIH is paying universities and drug companies to develop treatments for diabetes. They're not paying to figure out why are all these kids the sickest kids in the world. I'm going to go in there the first week and I'm going to say we're going to give drug development a break for the time being and infectious disease a break for the time being. And we're going to find out why we have the sickest children in the world, why we have the highest chronic disease burden. Where is the diabetes coming from? Where is the Alzheimer's coming from? Where is the autism coming from? Where are all these autoimmune diseases? Crohn's disease, lupus, rheumatoid arthritis. Where's all these neurological diseases that particularly impact boys in the Black community? ADD, ADHD, speech delay, language delay, tics, Tourette syndrome, narcolepsy, ASD, and autism. Where's it coming from? Because we didn't have it when I was a kid. Nobody looked like that. Today, every kid you talk to is injured. Let's find out what it is. And then when we identify, let's say I find out that high fructose corn syrup is causing the diabetes epidemic. People will say, even if you knew that, they're too powerful. They've got Monsanto, they've got Cargill, they've got all the chairs of the agricultural committees. But here's how you do it. You do enough science that shows the connection, and then the lawyers come in and sue them, and they represent 100,000 kids who are obese and say, you did this to me. And that's what we did with Monsanto. Everybody told me you'll never get rid of Roundup. And I represented, ultimately, there were 40,000 home gardeners in my case. And we tried those cases one at a time. We tried the 2 of them, Oakland. The first one, San Francisco, we won $289 million. I represented a Black school superintendent who had been spraying Roundup on weeds, and he had gotten non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. He had pustulating lesions covering his whole body. We won $289 million for him. The second case in Oakland, we won $89 million. The third case, we asked for $1 billion. We won $2.2 billion. And Monsanto came to the negotiating table. They settled the cases for $13 billion, and they agreed to remove glyphosate from home gardening products. So you can do it. You just need to put the science out there, and that's what I'm going to make sure.
No, look, this right here, crazy. Disclaimer, don't take this if you don't want to have a super day. I think it got way too much of each ingredient in here, especially the lion's mane and the black seed oil and the MCT oil and the cannabinoids. This had me up all night and I was just knocking out everything. Got to the point I ain't even got nothing to do tomorrow. If you want to like spread out your week in a week, don't take this. If you want to knock out a week in a day, This right here have you going. This is like Viagra for the brain. You ever wake up and you got limp brain, you feel mentally dry, and you don't feel inspired, and you ain't got what is required for you to go climb that tower of the day and knock everything down? Don't take this, because this will have you pound for pound ready to go Mike Tyson rounds. You know what I'm talking about? This Supermind right here is the best thing that I've ever had in my life, but I think it may be too much for the average person. Or maybe we need to put a disclaimer that this is extreme, because this right here, man, I feel like I can do anything. Literally anything. Yeah, this too much. This too much. This too much. Come on. What else we got to get done, man? Send me the whole agenda. Let's do everything today. We shooting for 24 hours today. I ain't stopping. And y'all think I'm playing. Y'all better take something as well. Matter of fact, here you go. Yeah, you take some because I'm working. Non-stop. Ain't no cut. Let's go.
I'm 19 Keys, and this is high level conversation. The library.